Uh, let's start with arms because there's some fun new abilities.
Do you like my wand?
Um,
Look at this fucking wand.
oh my god,
Isn't it
what
amazing?
is that? It's a little
It's a
head.
troll's head. It's a troll's head.
It's like a shrunk one. It's very cool, isn't it? I like it a lot. Is that a new model?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Fucking look at it. La 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 la. Bit of a distraction from the warrior things going on.
Okay, well, first of all, we'll start off with the arms line. I've got a level 80 warrior. I leveled as arms. I quite like arms. It's a PvP line. It's been through a lot of incarnations over the years. It's still the most popular PvP line because of Mortal Strike, you know, the Mortal Strike debuff. They have given it to Fury, but as far as I know, Fury warriors have never been as good as arms warriors in PvP. You get Mortal Strike as a baseline ability, level 10. Kind of cool to have that straight away. You get two-handed weapon specialization, so you know you're still using a two-hander. You get anger management as a baseline talent, so you generate extra rage. And the mastery is quite a cool one.
Baseline.
Strikes of Opportunity grants a 22% chance for your melee attacks to instantly trigger an additional attack that hits for 75% of normal damage. So it's a little bit like the Hunter Marksmanship Wild Quiver, and it's a little bit like the old kind of specialization. In arms you used to have like sword specialization, axe specialization, polearm specialization. They're all gone. The tree is being pruned down quite intensely. Another thing that's gone is there used to be a spell called Sudden Death, which I think has gone now, but that used to proc and you'd get free executes. Again, that's gone. I mean, the rotation is pretty much you keep Rend up, and you overpower your Mortal Strike and you slam, and you use Colossus Smash as well. The other big new ability that you get as a warrior is this thing called Inner Rage. When you're over 75 rage, you can use this ability, and it will increase all damage you deal by 15%, but it will increase the rage cost of everything as well by 50%. So your damage is increased, but your rage cost of abilities is increased. So it can so your rage bar goes up, you use Inner Rage and it goes down again. It goes up and down.
That's awfully similar to a pet talent right at the bottom of the tree, in which when the pet has too much focus, it deals more damage, but the attacks cost more focus. So it's a similar way of getting rid of that extra resource that you have stored up.
It's a good idea, and you use it very often. Okay, let's go back into the talent tree. So at the bottom of the talent tree, we have damage of Heroic Strike, Cleave, Victory Rush, Slam. I mean, you're going to need these. As a quick mention here, they've changed Victory Rush, and it actually gives you 20% of your maximum health back when you use it. Obviously, you can only
20%.
You can only use it after you've killed an enemy that yields experience or honor, but 20% is a lot, especially if you're just grinding mobs. And you know, wow, that is a massive change, especially for leveling. If I'd had this
blood rune thing or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What's that called? Death Knight one?
It's equivalent of hitting 2 death strikes, so that is a lot of healing back after every mob kill. You know, plus, I mean, if I'd had this on my warrior, it would have been much easier to level. Anyway, the other talent on the bottom, Field Dressing, increases all healing received by 6% and the effectiveness of your self-healing abilities. So this is something you pick up as a prop paladin, and it's something which is useful in PvP. This is something you pick up as a prop warrior, and it's something that's useful in PvP. Blitz. Your charge generates 10 additional rage and stuns 2 additional nearby targets. So basically, when you charge into a group of mobs, they're all going to be stunned, or a group of enemies in PvP. That's a fun ability, and since it's right down there at the bottom of the tree, a lot of people are going to pick it up. Next line down, Tactical Mastery, still here. You retain rage when you change stances. Often in PvE, as arms you tend to stay in battle stance, as fury you tend to stay in berserker stance, and as prot you tend to stay in defensive stance. There are differences, but in PvP, your very commonly changing stances, because you know as soon as you get attacked, you want to swap into defensive and equip a shield kind of thing. Especially if things start getting, if they start focusing you down. That's a common thing to do actually. So stance changes to use intercepts and jump stances in PvP is very common, but PvE not so common. Second wind, when you are struck by a stun or immobilize, you gain rage and 10% of your total health back over 10 seconds. This is a similar abilities in the tree at the moment. It's a good PvP ability, and it really makes you tough in PvP and arena. I'm not going to take that because I'm going to do sort of more raiding spec or leveling spec. You don't really get stunned or immobilized when you're leveling too much. Deep wounds. This is still in the tree. It's a good talent. You can pick this up if you're Fury, and you probably will. Your crits cause the opponent to bleed, dealing 50% of your melee weapon's average damage over 6 seconds. Really good talent. Necessary. Drums of War reduces the rage cost of your shield bash, pummel, and any shouts that cost rage by 50%. Now this obviously makes your most DPS classes have one of these low in the tree. The Death Knights have got one for Mind Freeze to make their interrupts free. It's actually very useful because it means you're never, whenever you need to interrupt immediately, you're never like worried because you've used up all your rage. And this is especially good for warriors because your rage is fluctuating up and down all the time, and it might just happen that you've got no rage because you've been using inner rage to burn it all down, and you might want to drop an interrupt. So this is a useful thing to have. In PvE, I guess, apart from the heroics, it might not be so useful, but even so, bosses, interrupting on bosses, you're doing it more and more these days, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. With the new heroics, it's extremely good to have all the DPS having interrupt effects.
Yeah. Drums. So also, I mean, this says any shouts that cost rage by 50%. Worth noting here that no shouts actually cost rage anymore. Oh, sorry, no, they do. Demoralizing shout costs rage. It costs, I think, 10 rage. Yeah, demo shout costs 10 rage, and challenging shout costs 5 rage. However, there's the taunt, right? Battle shout gives you 20 rage, and so does commanding shout. They actually give you rage now, rather than costing rage. And this puts them in line with Horn of Winter, the Death Knight shout, and encourages people to keep the shouts up. So casting a shout is no longer something which is a waste of your rage and awkward to do because you might not have enough rage to do it. Now it encourages you to do it, and it's good. They've also got rid of for prot. They've got rid of blood craze, blood frenzy, whatever that thing is that prot tanks always used to press before the fight to give them a bit of rage. So instead of that, you just cast your commanding shout, and then you've got 20 rage, and then you can charge in, and then you've got 50 rage.
That's cool.
So you can open up with quite a bit of rage, or you can just heroic leap in, stun them all, drop a thunderclap. It's a really nice. It's really, really nice actually, because the heroic leap is such a nice new ability to have. Anyway, I've gone a bit off topic, but that's fine. An okay ability, Drums of War, just because of the shouts rage cost is worthless, but it means you can kind of, if demo shout's free, you can kind of spam it as part of your rotation, and your raid will love you for putting that up. Taste for Blood increases your overpower critical strike chance by 60%, and whenever your rend causes damage, it allows you to use overpower. So this is the standard ability, which you keep rend up, you get free overpowers, you keep smacking your overpower on cooldown. Okay, this is standard. You need to overpower. It does a lot of damage. It's good. Good. Sweeping Strikes. It's obviously in the tier 3, which means that Fury and Prot can't pick it up. It's still the same. Your melee attacks strike a single additional nearby opponent. It lasts 10 seconds. 30 rage. AoE. You'll use this a lot as arms. A lot. It's good. It's good though. Impale. Increases the critical strike damage bonus of Mortal Strike, Slam, and Overpower. You need this. You absolutely need that. And Improved Hamstring. When reapplying Hamstring, you when we are playing hamstring, you immobilize
moo.
target for 5 seconds.
Even if you're not a Tauren, you just start mooing.
And the 2 points makes it. This effect cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds. So, you know, your spam of hamstring will immobilize. Really nice for PvP. Not so much for PvE, obviously. PvP is good though. It's good. I think something like this is in the game at the moment. I might be wrong though. I'm not really a PvPer, I must admit, on my warrior. Improved slam. I mean, you're gonna be slamming. They want you to slam if you're armed, so you know you need that to speed it up, give it more damage. Now this is an interesting ability in the middle here, Deadly Calm. For the next 10 seconds, none of your abilities cost rage, but you continue to generate rage. Cannot be used during inner rage. Now, this is a very, very good one, because it means you can, if you've suddenly run out of rage, you can pop Deadly Calm and just keep spamming your rotation, and that'll push your rage right back up to full, and by the time it wears off, you can press inner rage and then get all your rage back down again. So you can do a good 10 seconds of full max rotation DPS with that up, and then once it's gone down, you can pop in a rage and do a lot more damage. So it's a really, really good talent to have to give you rage. Really, really nice. Blood Frenzy. Your bleeds cause targets to take an extra 4% physical damage and 30% bleed damage. So this is your nice raid buff. Also, as an incentive to take it and be useful to your raid, your auto attacks have a 10% chance to generate 20 additional rage, which is going to happen a lot. So there, that's a good talent, very good talent. I mean, I've yet to find a talent I don't like, to be honest. Lambs to the Slaughter. After dealing a Mortal Strike, your next Execute Overpower or Mortal Strike will deal 30% more damage. Great ability. I guess it means you can decide which of those you want to press, but frankly, Execute, Overpower, and Mortal Strike do a fair bit of damage anyway. So, that's cool. A Juggernaut. Similar talents in the game at the moment. Your charge is now usable in combat, but the cooldown is increased. Following a charge, your next slam or mortal strike has an additional 25% chance to crit. So that's a good one. You know, you want to charge into combat and use that.